or anything. I feel like
we can make it more interactive. I don't want you to be questioned and stuff. Sound identity we sing that can transcend, that people can attach to almost immediately. I don't know if you understand. When you hear the voice of scales, you know that is scales, right? Everybody. When you hear the sound or anything coming out from the mouth of example, Brother Shaggy, exactly. And when you hear the sound coming out from the mouth of somebody like Pella, you know that is Pella. When you hear sound coming from the mouth of Bonaboy, you know Oduwabona. Same thing with Wiz. Same thing with so many other people like that. So when it comes to sound identity, how have you been able to, I don't know, how did you do it? Did it come naturally, or you learn, or you study other people for you to create your own?
To be honest, I study a lot of people. I started off rapping and stuff. I used to listen to like from Bow Wow to Ludacris and everybody. So I started like rhyming their own stuff and writing their own stuff as if it was mine. So that way, I continued just working, sharpening my skills, trying to write on my own. And that's how it started for me, and I just discovered my own.
Wow, and you've been able to stay consistent with that.
As long, for me, the major thing is practice makes perfect. Once you keep doing it, you keep getting better and finding like better ways to get your whatever you're creating out.
Let me help you expatiate very well, because I know in the crowd we have some musicians, right? We have content creators. You have people out there that they are looking for their niche. For you to create your niche, it is either you have a physical look that people can remember. Example, that Kabir guy that doesn't talk, that will just like this. People know him for doing that. Also, they know his face. If he sings or he talks, barely will you recognize that's the person talking. I don't know if I'm making sense, right? So, creating an identity for yourself, it's not just for the sound alone. It also works for the look. For musicians, it is also very more encompassing. If you notice, you have to work on your sound, on your look, right? On your presentation. How have you been able to put all that together? Did you, from the onset when you were starting up, did you employ? Did you study? Or how did you put all the pieces together, not just the visual part?
I just simply had a vision that, I was going to tell my story to the world. Where I'm from.
Where are you from?
I'm from Kaduna State. I'm born and raised in Kaduna State, but by blood I'm from Edo State. So pretty much, like, if I can tell you my story, if I can tell you where I'm from, and I can tell you that there's hope. There's hope as long as you keep doing it, and as long as you keep dreaming, there's hope that you get there. So pretty much that's my own story. That against all odds, you get there. And I believe that's pretty much what everybody knows.
So you're going to say your environment, where you were born, and while you were in Lagos, what other perimeters, or how would I put it, parameters, that help shape your personality, that help shape your confidence? Because these are all questions that a lot of aspiring content creators, right, are also looking for. How, how they can navigate their own path. What are all those impetus, let me put it like that has helped give you confidence, build. Because you can learn all those stuff, you can study people, but let's go deeper. I want to drag you deeper so that you can.
I think most importantly, getting a bunch of people that believe in you, which is like a team, that trust, they are loyal, that believe in you, and you can figure out ideas and ways for you to, have more value and bigger. And also having like mentors, mentors that you learn from. You either sit down with them, see how they make the music, how they write, how they do business. Like my mentor, I keep telling everybody from back then, the music business is banking with you because, I was always with him watching how he moves, the meetings and stuff like that. And, people like, and I also look up to somebody like Jazzy now because of longevity, making evergreen sounds, that kind of stuff. So pretty much just get yourself a mentor, get yourself a good team, sharpen your skills, always find something. Always look for, if the whole industry is going this way, always look for something that makes you stand out. Because that's the easiest way to be remembered.
Let me just add some couple of words to that. You see, there are two different, these words, they are very, very important. I want you guys to write them down. There is difference between knowledge and wisdom. Should I break it down? Knowledge you will learn from school, from diploma courses, from online, from the digital world, right? And knowledge, when I mean knowledge, you can learn it by reading, by writing, by teaching. Also, there's also part of knowledge where you see what other people have experienced. Whether your father, your mother, your uncle, your market woman, your next door neighbor, you see what has gone through life with them, either from marriage, from singing, from whatever. That shaping your mind as a young person. And at a point in your life, you start praying for wisdom. Wisdom comes from God. Also, accumulation of all the knowledge you gain in all aspects of life can also come to wisdom. Because people will come to you, they will ask you, how did you, example now, we're using it as a prototype to the conversation of how do you create identity, how do you navigate that space, because whether you like it or not, coming all the way from Kaduna, you never tell me that it was easy.
So, but it was a crazy decision.
You didn't come to Lagos at an old age, right?
I came when I was like 15, 16.
I want you to share some of the experiences, things you went through with them.
Yeah, man. So my story is very simple. You know, I just woke up one day and I told my mom that I'm leaving Kaduna and coming to Lagos. And it was a free ride. So
Free ride to Lagos?
Lagos. One of my friends was relocating to Lagos. And so I remember my mom, it took long, but my mom finally agreed. So I took the ride, and I'm trying to cut the long story short.
So
we came, we are so rest in peace. Thank you. So we came to Lagos, and when we came to Lagos, we went to Orile. So I told him that time that I had some friends that I came to see that they're not paying my call, you know, that can I just spend the night, stay the night, because I honestly don't know what I was doing, because that's proper high-school exuberance, so you have to like really be daring and very ambitious. I didn't know what I was doing, but I just knew I needed to move. So I came to Lagos, obviously, I was at the guy's house, you know, he allowed me to stay the night. That's my friend. He allowed me to stay the night, he was with his family, his mom and dad and everybody. Then the next day, he didn't say anything. I still stayed. Then another day, then he was like, you know what, I understand what's going on, but you know, I know you came to hospital, why don't I become your manager? Shout out to his name is TJ. So shout out to him. He became my manager, and we went to Unilag. I remember we went to Unilag. I can't remember what show, I think it was Kofi, the comedian called Kofi. It was a show, so, because I had to start hustling and stuff. I had demo, I had CDs that I was passing around. I used to like burn a lot of CDs, like 100, 200, I just hold around in my bag. I always had a backpack that time. I had my toothbrush and everything, you know. But anyway, we'll go there. So yeah, Kofi's show. So that was my first time that I performed in Lagos. I remember, so he called me, he's like, because he used to go to the live, so he was like, is this thing happening in live? He thinks this is big and he thinks I should come. I was like, for real, you can get me a slot? He said, yeah, come. So I remember I took bus, went to the lab, I had the auditorium this that time. I think that was their previous one. So during the show, I just saw him he took the CD, he went to the DJ. I just saw the DJ, just disparted him and gave him some change. And I knew that there was a break, so they just gave me mic and said, climb. I swear to God, it's like a movie, right? They told me climb. So I had this song called Heading for a Grammy that time, which I performed for the first time in Unilag. And you know, people's minds were blown away. You know, that's how my career started. Then I met my ex-manager. He used to work for Zane, and I had already won Zane's research. So when I met him, he was like, okay, you know what, there's this event happening, it's called Sound City, something like that. Sound City Music Blast. So I went there, I performed, he took me there again, and I performed. I remember while I was performing that day, the lights went off. It was Basket Mark that was the MC. The lights went off. And when the lights went off, instead of me to stop, I continued a cappella. I was just singing. So everybody was like, hey, shouting while I was rapping, rather. I was still rapping. The lights went off while I was performing, by the way. So they didn't know what to do. While they were trying to like fix the whatever. Yeah. So I continued rapping and the crowd made that noise. So when the light came back, basketball man came and took the mic and said, man, thank you that my spot was on that spot. The crowd said, guy, like, he started shouting that, come back and perform. So when I performed again, everybody just started screaming and singing the song to me. And that's how my career just changed. And I remember that's how I made the banky and everything. And so after the show, I made a couple of friends, including of course Whiskey and everything. I friends we know each other from Joss. So I remember that day I went back home, and the next thing I got a text from Whiskey. But I missed the text message by the way, because I was sharing phone with my guy. So Whiskey, when he wants to sleep, I'll put my sleep. Wow. So yeah, so I got a text. I saw Whiskey, and he was like, "Man, Banky wants to sign you." And yeah, that's the beginning of my career. And I got signed to get me.
I deliberately played that so that you can share your story. From that story, I am sure